G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today guys, we're looking at 10 years of the channel. So officially the 3rd of March 2016 was the day I made a YouTube account. Even though my first official video didn't come out until late April that year, still marks 10 years to this day where I first got into it. So today's video is more or less of looking back on how I got into reptiles, how I started YouTube, or even why, top 10 favourite videos I've made, top 10 finds, as well bits and pieces throughout the, history of the channel and going from there. So buckle up and let's have a look back of 10 years of LFB Wildlife, formerly known as Crunch Time LFB. Let's wind the clock back to the very beginning, shall we? So from a very young age, probably before I can even walk, my passion and obsession basically was with reptiles. Don't know how it really started, it's just I'm the only one in the family who's into it, so we're not too sure where that came from. By saying that from that very young age, I've been into reptiles. So for many, many years, I was asking my parents for my birthday for a pet snake. For many years, it was a straight no. Then one year, Mum thought, you know what, let's get Lucas a snake. It could be a phase or it could be a lifelong hobby. Turned out it was the latter of the two. So we started off with one snake back in 2010, which was ironically back in March that year. So officially, it's been 16 years I've been keeping reptiles myself. And we started with a blonde-spotted python named Superstar. So Superstar we still have to this very day. Feel very lucky to still have her. Even though we have multiple reptiles throughout the years, I'm probably pushing at least 60 reptiles in general, plus babies. So I'm looking at about 100 reptiles I've kept throughout the 16 years, sorry. So some have come and gone. Majority of them still have them to this day, so I feel very lucky to have that. So it's been a lifelong obsession. It's been pretty much my purpose in life. So I feel very lucky to know my purpose from a young age and to stick with it. And I guess I've turned it into a career. Now looking on how I got into YouTube. So a special thanks has to go out to Daniel, who is Striker Daniel TW, or Dan's Reptiles he's now known, and Eddie. Now those two helped me get started in YouTube in the first place. Daniel made my original logo and Eddie helped me with my banner and my outro at the time. So without those two guys, I wouldn't be here today with the channel. So thank you guys. Now, when I first started YouTube, I saw how successful other content creators have gotten with gaming and other things. And my goal was to be just as big as they were, but in the animal side of it all. I soon learned how hard it was to get followers in the first place. And after a while, I decided to not just focus on how many subscribers I can get, was basically trying to educate as many people as I can. Of course, not everybody is going to subscribe to my channel. So for those who have subscribed, thank you all for helping this channel grow and being a part of the community. Doesn't matter if you've been here since day one or a day ago, you're part of this channel and part of the community we are growing. But after 10 years of doing YouTube, I'm hoping to inspire at least 10 of you guys to get into reptile keeping, into content creation, and just be a wildlife warrior. That's what my goal was after, thinking, well, if I'm not going to get big out of this, let's inspire someone who can be more successful than I am in this field. So 10 years later, I hope you guys, at least some of you guys who are watching, have been inspired. And I've met some of you guys out in the expos and out in the field. So many subscribers has been great as well. Not many, but it does mean a lot to me. So yeah, hopefully I can keep this going for a little bit longer to inspire as many people as I can, to educate as many people as possible. As zoos and wildlife parks, not really limited to that area of what's the word I'm looking for? Visitors. At least with online and YouTube, I can have more of an audience. I can reach almost everybody, as everybody, or most people have a device now that they have in their pocket. So why not go big or go home? For this next segment, I'll be using my phone just to look at dot points I've got down as to go through over 500 videos to pick out 10 of my favorites was a bit hard. Some of them I thought would just be a bit mediocre, while others I felt very proud of. So let's have a look back of my top 10 favorite videos, starting from number 10 and working down to number 1. So number 10 would have been my first herping video. Now, I remember it was myself, Daniel, and a couple of his friends. We were going out the back of someone's house where they owned a bit of property in the mountains. We were finding skinks, geckos. I think we found a blue tongue from memory. And at the time, I didn't know really how to make a proper herping video. But after doing about, I think, 100 now, you soon learn on how to do it properly and make it as educational but fun as possible. So that holds a bit of a good memory for me because that's how we all got started basically. Number 9, Highland's copperhead. Now, the first time I ever held a highly venomous snake was a Highland copperhead. And it's kind of funny. I think the first time I saw one would have been late 2017. And I saw two the same day. Fast forward a week later with Lachlan, another Lachlan, Daniel and myself. We found a Highland copperhead during the night time. And since then, I have not seen one since. So it's kind of funny. Since then, it's been, what, 8-9 years? I haven't seen a copperhead since. So one day, hopefully I can make a new video on the Highland copperheads. But still, holding your very first highly venomous snake, you can't go past that either. Number 8 would be my first ever red-bellied black snake I ever caught. I remember I was myself and Daniel going down to our local river to have a look on an overcast day. Didn't think we'd find one until a local pointed one out for us. Sure enough, wandered back over to the spot they said, and there it was sitting there. So for me and Daniel to do that together, as we were both doing YouTube at that stage, even though Daniel started before I did, for him and I to do that together, that was quite special. So fast forward, I've probably done good 20-30 black snake handling, you know. It's one of my favourite things to do is to wrangle red-bellied black snakes. Number 7 is kind of unexpected for me, but I did a monkey experience at Shorehaven Zoo, and this was with the common marmosets. Now these were cute little buggers, great video to watch, very, very entertaining for me. I went into 2 different troops, and it was a lot of fun just to play with these, you know, little monkeys as big as your phone basically. So had them jumping, climbing, biting you. It was just a lot of fun for me. Number 6 is probably one of the funniest videos I ever recorded, and that was with another monkey, this time being a spider monkey, a little baby one at that, just running around being a little menace to this group. I think nothing had me, even though I'm having the camera holding reasonably steady, I was dying. I was trying not to, you know, fall backwards laughing and, you know, being in stitches. It was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen, especially with any primate. Number 5 will be the 2020 Penrith Reptile Expo. That expo was quite special for me, as you had a lot of different things on display, from venomous snakes. You had the Fawny Devils there for the first time, so seeing a Fawny Devil in person for the first time was magical. Since then, they've kind of been a main staple of the Penrith Reptile Expo. Since then, things have changed because of regulations and stuff, but 2020 with that expo was quite fun. Just a week or so out before COVID hit, so that was kind of the last true video of me enjoying that expo. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun, but it's been different since. But speaking of, 22nd of March is the Penrith Reptile Expo out in Cambridge Park. I'll be there. I think a couple of the other content creators will be there too. Great expo. If you're into reptiles and you live in Sydney, come on out, check it out. And if you see me there, come and say hello. Number 4 will be hatching out twins. So for me, I've gotten a bit lucky with breeding reptiles the last 4 years now, 5 years, something like that. And probably the favourite thing that's ever happened to me, not once but twice now, I have hatched out twins. Unfortunately, I do regret selling the first batch of twins I ever gotten, but I have kept the second twins. I'll keep them off camera now because I feature Chappie and Orchid in the videos of what they will do. I want to get them growing a bit more established first, then kind of do a video of them growing up. So having them, it's wild. They have it once, but they have it twice, especially to have a small of a, you know, breeding thing I do here. It's just, yeah, I'm speechless with that. Then number 3 had to be the first time I ever bred reptiles, and that was with Emma and Azula. They produced my first ever clutch of snake eggs, which hatched out, and I was quite fortunate. The babies I got all went to my friends first. So from memory, I kept 2, but unfortunately Chewbacca passed away. But Valentino, the firstborn, still have him. Carissa, she got one of my babies. One of our friends named Belle, she bought 2 off me. Then a cousin of mine got 1 off me. So the 6 or 7 babies I got hatched out and got going went all to friends and family. So I feel lucky in the sense that happened. So yeah. Number 2, I cannot believe I was a part of this project at the time, and I was breeding PERENTIEs with a breeder, and we just happened to fluke it one year. So to be in the process of, be a part of the project where I was helping putting a pair together, feeding them, watching them mate, watching them lay the eggs. Well, I say watching the eggs, but keep an eye on eggs through the whole incubation period, you know, counting down the days, or actually counting the days to see how long it took. Then the hatch out 3 miniature replicas of the parents was amazing. It's even better that the breeder, so Camo, Andrew, he kept one of the babies back, and I felt quite fortunate to be there to at least raise it for a little bit there. So I feel quite honoured to be a part of that project, because that's a experience that will go down for me forever, and that is knowledge that I'll carry on. So if I go to a zoo or wildlife park that wants to breed Parenti's, I've got the know-how on how to do it and maybe help them do it one day. Number one, by far, the favourite video I've ever made was watching a baby Shingleback being born right in front of us. That is probably the hardest bit of footage you ever get. As a reptile keeper, as a reptile breeder, that's something you never see, or barely see. So to be one of the very few people out there who've caught Shingleback births on camera, I feel very blessed that Mother Nature was allowed me to capture that beautiful moment on camera and be able to share it. That's one of the wildest things that's ever happened to me. It would have been even crazier if Monty in Anastasia did that to me, but to be there at the right time, in the right place, to see that baby be born is something I'll look back in the next 10, 15 years and go, I cannot believe I got that on camera. It's one of the best feelings. Of course, you have to take the good with the bad, and I've only got a selected few bad things that have ever happened, I guess, related to the YouTube channel. Number one would have to be one night, Carissa, myself, and a couple of friends were herping in a certain location. We had someone pretty much tailgating us. We pulled over to let them by because they're just being absolute jerks. They've gone through a corner, and unfortunately they clipped a brown tree snake. And I remember at the time recording my reaction after the fact that it happened. And I remember I said, I can't post this. It was just too raw of an emotion for me. And looking back at it, maybe I should have left it in, but I had to calm down and compose myself to do a proper video on it. And that's probably one of the hardest videos I had to make, was that video. Unfortunately, the brown tree snake did not survive. Yeah, it's just a bad video to make, that one was. Yeah, of course, something that I hate doing is putting in tribute videos of my pets who do pass away. Even though it sucks to make those videos, it's something I want to do because it's something for memories. Like, I want to remember them. I want to honour their contribute to the videos, to the channel, everything. Without them, this wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here, to be fair, you know. So, yeah. And nothing that does get hard is when they get sick. It's great when you get them back to full health, but it's even worse when they don't recover and they just don't make it. So that's the hard thing. Then off camera, 5 years ago, I had an accident with a goanna where it hospitalised me. I won't go into too much detail there because that could be a video for another day. But long story short, let's say it was a feeding accident, just, you know, wrong place, wrong time, got bitten, sent to the hospital, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. Apart from that, everything else so far has been great. Those are kind of the only real bad moments that have happened to me in my career so far. Basically, my favourite series of videos to make are your herping videos. So this is my top 10 herping species that I've seen in the wild. So obviously for this account, I have to see at least one specimen of in the wild to photograph. If I see a glimpse of them, I don't really count them because I didn't capture them on camera. But this is my top 10. So number 10, we have the she-oak skinks. I've been lucky enough to find 2 of these guys out in the wild, possibly 3. I'm pretty sure it's just the 2. So the first one I've ever seen was with the Lachlan's and Daniel. That same night we found that copperhead, and then more recently with Carissa and Bailey. So to revisit that species recently was fantastic. Also to own some in my collection is great because it's kind of cool to see something out in the wild that you keep in captivity. Number 9 is the red-bellied black snakes. I just love seeing these guys, even though they're just black with red. They're probably one of the coolest snakes out there. Definitely in my top 5 venomous snakes. Just don't go out playing with them like I do. Leave it to the professionals. I mean, taught by professionals on how to deal with them. So, but yeah, other than that, great snake. Then number 8 is another blue tongue species I'd like to revisit one day. Even though I've seen quite a few of them, just one of the species I enjoy seeing from time to time. And that is the alpine blotched blue tongues. So I often see them at least once every couple of years. So maybe later this year or next year I might go out to my little location as I kind of figure out the time of year on when to find them. So maybe one day we're going to revisit them. Number 7 would be a mustard belly snake. Now I've only seen one out in the wild and it's something I'd love to revisit as it's been so long since I've seen them. I was with the 2 Lachlan's at the time before Daniel came and joined us for that weekend. So that was kind of my first ever venomous snake I dealt with, even though it was mildly venomous. that was my first snake I properly handled out in the wild. So besides something a bit more friendlier, then I think 24 hours later was the copperhead. Number 6 is your death adders. So for me to see I think 4 of them now, they're cool. Unfortunately, the only ones I've seen are be your blacks and greys. I'd love to see a red one day, as death adders do come in different colours. So to get kind of a couple of different localities, and that would be great. I just need to go out on a one hot night in summer and hopefully see them on the side of the road alive and not run over, because even though they're probably one of the fastest striking snakes out there, they're pretty slow on the move. So poor buggies are like slugs. Number 5 is a very interesting species for me, and that is a rough-scale snake. Not mistaken for rough-scale python, as these guys are found in the Kimberley. Very hard to find in general. Those rough scales are a bit unique to deal with. I was quite fortunate to get some really good photos of them. And the ones we did find that fateful night with Lachlan, his group of friends, Daniel, that was pretty cool, because that was a species I was not very familiar with. But to see how they, I guess, interact with cameras and people were interesting. That is certainly a video I suggest you guys go and check out. It's just a very cool species. Number 4, another animal I have a soft spot for, and that's your brown tree snakes. You can never go wrong with them. I've got, Will and the other in their family, and of course they share that passion with Bailey, because both him and I, we both love our boygas. He kind of got me hooked onto them, so thank you, Bailey, for the addiction with them. But every time it's him and I out there and we find boygas together, I think all 3 I have found have been with him actually. So I don't think I found one with, besides the one that was run over that one time, which we touched on early on. Every other brown tree snake you've seen in the videos, with Bailey with. So 3 out of 4 is not too bad, Bailey. Number 3 will be your Rosenberg monitor. Now, of course, yet again, it was with Bailey with this one. Then the second one we found was with Carissa. Now, at the time, I didn't really know these guys were around. And that day where Bailey and I found one, kind of got me hooked on that species. So, of course, now I've got Ray, my Rosenberg. So it's kind of a full circle moment where I found one in the wild, decided to get one in captivity. And when I was doing a course, I did a husbandry manual on that species. So I kind of guess I ran down a rabbit hole at that time with the Rosenbergs. Number 2 is another species I hope to see one day. A few people do go out and see them quite regularly, so I might have to hit up their spots if they are cool with it, and for me to go and check out, find a pink tongue. Pink tongue skinks, we got one here, Pedro. It's kind of another one of those things where I found one in the wild, loved it so much, I thought I'd go and find a captive born one and have one of my own. So that's another species as well. Last but not least, now this kind of spoils things in a way for those who don't follow me on Instagram. Now, about 8 months ago, I put up a couple of photos of this species on Instagram, but I don't have that many followers. So I'm going to spoil it because it is coming out in the next month. I think I've got this video scheduled for. And that is broad-headed snakes. Ever since Maynard and I first met, it was kind of our goal to find broad-headed snakes together. Even though he's found a few before I did. And there's been times he's been out by himself or with other friends and he found them, and I wasn't there. So this particular day, we officially found one and we were so excited. I won't spoil the video too much, as it's probably one of my favourite videos now, looking back at it now, to make. To do it with Bailey, who for 6 years, him and I have been going together just to photograph just one. Was special, but this particular video was extra special. Don't want to spoil it too much. You guys have to wait and see when that comes out. But that was a fantastic day, and plus we had Carissa there too. So we were losing our minds. Let's put it that way. That will officially wrap up today's video on the 10-year anniversary of the channel. Now, I know you guys are requesting a couple of videos. I know someone privately messaged me the other day asking for another Camos Reptiles tour. I might do that one a bit later on, as someone else is coming to Camos to do a tour, so I don't want to go there, do one myself, and then kind of flops because they've done it. So stick around for that. I know who's doing it, but I'm not saying anything at the moment because we don't want people flooding the joint. I know a lot of you guys about 2-3 years ago, maybe longer, asking for that species spotlight series. If you guys still want that series, let me know. There's about probably 60 videos I can do there. Just let me know what you guys want to see in those videos, from, I guess, what they like from the wild versus captivity, diet, setup, such like that. Just let me know what you guys want to know in those videos, as I'm I'm not too sure how to go about them. So otherwise, any other video suggestions, feel free to ask me down in the comments below. I'll get back to you on if I can do it or I can't do them. As well, any questions that you may have, feel free to ask. As long as they are appropriate, then I'm happy to answer them, either in the comments or in another video, depending how many I get. But anyway guys, we'll wrap up the video here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.